Hello, boxing fans around the world. Thanks for joining me once again here on Talkin Fight for another episode of Boxing News Today. And today we're going to start off with, shall I say, a bit of positive news. The most anticipated women's fight of all time between bitter rivals Claressa Shields and Savannah Marshall will take place on the rescheduled date this Saturday, October 15th at the O2 Arena. That's in London, England. And it will be available on ESPN Plus for audience in the US, by the way. Shields will bring the WBA, WBC, and IBF middleweight titles into the showdown against Marshall and her WBO strap in an event promoted by Boxer, that's BOXXER, and Salita Promotions in association with Hennessy Sports. Shields will look to avenge the only loss of her storied career, an amateur defeat at the hands of Marshall in 2012, which kicked off the rivalry and war of words that continues to this very day. The co-main event of the historical women fight card is about presented in association with Top Rank, which will see the WBO and IBF world champion Michaela Mayer and WBC champion Alicia Baumgartner face off in a unification bout in the 130-pound division. All of this will be the subject of discussion by our new host, Holly Donovan, this Friday, and I invite you to visit her and her show coming up on Talkin Fight as she really gets into this in great detail. Let's move along to another fight that's taking place that exact same night. Shall we say headlined by a couple of male heavyweights that may or may not have seen their day. Let's have a quick look here. Former WBC heavyweight world champion and boxing superstar, put that in air quotes, Deontay the Bronze Bomber wildcard will take on top-rated Robert the Nordic Nightmare Helenius in a 12-round WBC heavyweight title eliminator between the ferocious punchers in the main event of a Fox Sport pay-per-view event, as I said, on Saturday, October 15th, which is to take place, by the way, in the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, just outside of New York City, in a PBC event. We all know that Wilder has had a great history of knocking fellas out. He's got 42 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, and 41 of those wins came by way of knockout. And he's on a mission, to be blunt, to become a 2-time world champion in the heavyweight division, following a reign that included 10 title defenses. But as we know, he got crunched, unfortunately, by Tyson Fury. Now, Helenius, for his part, is 30-3 with 19 knockouts, and he stamped himself as one of the world's best heavyweights with consecutive stoppage wins over the previously unbeaten Adam Kownacki, including October 21, 2021 6-round technical knockout win over Kownacki in Helenius' last outing. He's out of Sweden, fighting out of Finland, by the way, and it says established himself as one of Europe's top heavyweights prior to making his U.S. debut in 2019. Anyway, point is, he's 38 years old, might be past his prime. Yet, with one clean hit to Wilder's head, that will be the end of Mr. Wilder as well, quite frankly. As I've discussed many times on Talkin Fight on many different shows, but also a co-feature on this particular card. We're going to see, that's if we're not watching the women. We're going to watch former IBF super middleweight champ Caleb Plant, who faces 2-time WBC super middleweight champion Anthony Durrell. It's going to be a good fight, but I think in terms of numbers, I think we're going to see an awful lot of people tune into the women as opposed to the men, despite the names that are being brought into this card for the Barclays Center show, as I said, on Saturday night. Alrighty, on that same night, elsewhere, courtesy of Jeter Promotions, on October 15th, they're going to go to the Hall at Live inside the Live Casino Hotel in Maryland with an incredible night of boxing. That will be headlined by an 8-round bout featuring Elijah Pierce taking on Deron Williams for the WBC Silver Super Bantamweight title. Luckily, it's sold out. It's going to be a great local show. It's going to be a great fight, that headliner, by the way. But there are other guys who we've mentioned on Talkin Fight. I think I'll make mention of them quickly. Joseph Vizzi takes on Rashad Kilpatrick. Anthony Williams going toe-to-toe against Derek Van. Brandon Chambers going toe-to-toe against Vid Y. Mansburi Konde is taking on Brandon Clark. Akeem Hutcherson's taking on Ernest Hall. Ahmed Muhammad Jones going up against Connie Burnside. Dwayne Holmes fighting Rensley Washington III. Francois Scarborough Jr. going up against Apolinar Lopez. Stacy Selby taking on Maurice Anthony. And finally, Jeffrey Yu is going to take on a debutant, Mateo Diaz, out of Boise, Idaho. Anyway, so I don't think that that fight will be on any television or online. No, it doesn't look like it is being live streamed. But anyway, more than enough to take in on that October 15th evening. And we're all going to be glued to, oh my goodness, there's another fight on October 15th. The popular Rosemount Rumble series continues on Saturday night, October 15th, at the Parkway Sports Bank Sports Complex in Rosemont, Illinois. And this card is promoted by Hits Boxing. Looks like their headliner, super middleweight, William Langston is going to take on undefeated Caleb Hernandez. In an 8-round rematch, Jimmy Quiter takes on Simon Edward Butner in a super middleweight fight. There are plenty of other, looks like all-male card, and tickets are still available, courtesy of Eventbrite. Quick quote from promoter Bobby Hitz. Good luck to him. We are very excited about this card on Saturday. We are showcasing 6 terrific super middleweight fighters. All of these fighters are of quality, and over the next year or so, I can see us mixing and matching these guys to determine the next great super middleweight from Chicago, while making great fan-friendly fights between all of them. Great words out of promoter Bobby Hitz, and as I said, good luck to him and his combatants on October 15th. All right, coming up down the road, we have fast-rising blue-chip prospect Isaiah Steen. And he looks to slingshot himself up the super middleweight ranks when he takes on power puncher Sene Akbiko. And that's taking place on Friday, October 21st, to be shown on Showtime at 9:30 Eastern Time in the latest edition of Showbox, The New Generation. Fair enough. The telecast, by the way, features 4 undefeated prospects and 6 fighters with a combined record of 87, 3-2. And it's going to be taking place at the Bally's Atlantic City Casino and Resort, the site of the first Showbox show 21 years ago, and the second time in 2 months, I might add. So let's have a quick look here. Elsewhere on that fight, the co-feature will match up Sean Hemphill, 14-0, against David Stevens, 11-0. Then we'll see an opener between Marquise Taylor, 12-1-2, taking on undefeated Marlon Harrington, 8-0. And in the telecast will be the highlights of an intriguing 8-round clash between undefeated heavyweight prospect Moses Johnson, 8-0-1, 7 knockouts, and 4-time Oregon Golden Gloves champion Elvis Garcia, 12-0. So there are some heavyweight names to look out for, Carl. And tickets for this event are being promoted by Salida Promotions, our friends out of Detroit. Hall of Famer Barry Tompkins calls the action from ringside, and veteran combat sport reporter and Morning Combat host Brian Campbell and former world champion Raul Marquez are serving as expert analysts, with Hall of Famer Steve Farhood performing unofficial scoring duties. Showbox The New Generation is produced by Gordon Hall, with Richard Gowan producing and Rick Phillips directing. Good stuff out of Showbox, and we look forward to seeing that. Coming up, we're going to see a series of heavyweights. I promise some additional news out of the U.S. from my good friend Carl. Undefeated Pittsfield, Massachusetts, Quinton Sumter, 5-0, 3 knockouts in the heavyweight division, has been preparing a long time for his expected breakout fight on October 29th against Jeremiah Dreamland Milton, 6-0 with 5 knockouts in a 6-round bout And this is taking place on the Jake Paul Anderson Silva undercard. And that's the Gila River Arena in Glendale, Arizona. Sumter, by the way, was originally slated to fight Milton this past August on the Paul Hasim Rahman Jr. pay-per-view card at the famed Madison Square Garden, but the entire card was canceled because Rahman couldn't make the agreed-upon weight. Sumter may still be fighting Milton, however. He'll be traveling to Arizona instead of the Big Apple. Good for him. I look forward to seeing the outcome of that fight. Someone's going to lose their O and move up the rankings. Speaking of heavyweights, not from the UK, heavyweight Joey Dawejko, who I mentioned last week and I equally had enough trouble pronouncing his name, won his second bout in 5 weeks as he won a 6-round unanimous decision over Terrell Jamal Woods. That was the headline bout at the Parks Casino, taking place just outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. As you might recall, this is being promoted by Joe Hans Promotions. Dawejko, he's out of Philadelphia, and he won by scores of 59-55 twice and 58-56, and he's now sporting a 23-10-4 record. Woods out of Forest City, Arkansas, is now 28-54-9. In other fights, D'Angelo Fuentes thought previously undefeated Kevin Ford in a featherweight bout, and Dion Butt won a razor-thin 6-round unanimous decision over Juan de la Cruz Rodriguez in their super lightweight contest. We had other, I'll mention their names. Brendan O'Callaghan won a unanimous decision over Jeremiah Kendrick in their super welterweight contest. Soslan Obarov needed just 73 seconds to take care of Safardine Mazai in their scheduled 4-rounder. That was a welterweight bout. Boris Nade stepped Hakeem Smith in their lightweight bout. Joaquin Humbert made a successful pro debut with a 4-round unanimous decision over Aaron Nemones in their welterweight battle. And that pretty well wraps us up. Joe Hand says he is returning to the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia on Saturday, October 29th, with a big night of boxing. That will be headlined by South Philly's undefeated heavyweight, Sonny Conto. Oh, yet another American heavyweight. All right, here we go. Last news item of the day, and it comes out of England and is regarding the heavyweight division. And who would it be concerning? Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, who were attempting via social media to negotiate themselves a Battle of Britain. It fell apart. Anyway, Tony Bellew, a cruiserweight champ in the WBC, said, to be honest, the writing has been on the wall from the very start. It's pretty clear that Fury didn't want this fight to happen, and I don't think he thought that AJ would agree to all the terms and dates put in front of him, but he did. And in response to that, Fury did whatever it took to stop this fight, yet blamed Joshua and his team. It's ridiculous that Fury is saying that AJ was wasting his time over the last 4 years when it was Fury who pulled out of the last fight due to his agreement with Wilder. Joshua was ready to go ahead. He has all to prove and nothing to lose, so there's little point for him to back down. Furthermore, fitness-wise, AJ is a machine. He doesn't need any warm-up fight. He's good to do whenever. He's always in shape, and he always wants the next best and biggest possible challenge. And when the next biggest possible challenge is Tyson Fury, he wasn't going to shy away from that. But for some reason, Fury never truly won this fight. So whether it was a way to create headlines or something else, I don't know. But it was always a bit strange that Fury went for AJ, seeing that apart from his popularity, AJ hasn't gotten anything that Fury wants. If anything, it's the other way around. So this was purely about money and a big paycheck. But the fact that Fury was making a big song and dance about AJ purposely delaying signing the contract was questionable, seeing that AJ has agreed to every single part of it. Yes, verbally, but everyone knows, including Fury, that AJ and his team wouldn't go back on that. And for Fury, that's dangerous. It's a game to play. It's not the first time Fury puts Joshua and his camp in a situation. And now, as it turns out, Fury is ramping up new headlines about how he'll never fight Joshua. It's all a bit silly. I genuinely think Fury's team thought AJ would be intimidated when called out by Fury, as they didn't expect him to be up for it, especially after his defeats to Usyk. To be honest, he concludes, I'm not surprised about what happened and the fact this fight will never happen. It's a real shame, as what a fight it'd have been. But as many things in life, it sounds too good to be true. It probably is. The whole thing has been handled so badly, too. It's a shame for the sport, especially as boxing has become more popular than ever. Well, boxing fans, that's it for another series of headlines and stories here on Talk and Fight. Appreciate you joining me. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we'll see you later on at 4 p.m. with Mike Orr and Cedric Ben on Knuckle Up. Thank you.